In this video, I want to discuss a tactic that will allow you to absolutely dominate a free aim lobby. It's something I've seen being used a lot at the moment, and this is my experience with using it. In the later stages of this video, I'll teach you the best way of using this sweaty, try-hard tactic, but I'll also detail the best way of countering it, so that if you come across someone using it, you've got a fighting chance. In my last video, I spoke about how I'd come back from my hatred of PvP in Red Dead, and this was for multiple reasons. The main two were the changes to the combat gameplay and the introduction of the free aim PvP matches. It felt like Rockstar had introduced a game mode to Red Dead Online that truly tested the skill of players, where they couldn't rely on the normal auto-aim mechanic that we see in normal PvP matches. Well, as I've continued playing it, I've noticed that unfortunately there is one particular method of playing that is slowly killing the game mode. Its name is Paint It Black. Now, this ability card, when Deadeye is active, paints red crosses on an enemy when you drag your crosshair over them. Then when you pull the trigger, your character shoots every red cross that you marked with perfect accuracy. Some people use Paint It Black in PvP to basically remove the bloom from their reticle, making their shots more accurate. But the problem really lies with the marking of the targets. Despite the fact auto-aim is turned off with these games, with enough tonics, you can run Deadeye continuously and absolutely abuse this ability card. And running Paint It Black so much basically brings back what, in a way, is just another type of auto-aim. You don't even need to be particularly accurate in your aiming with the loadout that I'm going to tell you about. You can scribble your crosshairs over a player, release, and even the body shots will do a lot of damage. In the Frontier Pursuits newswire, Rockstar said that there will be a weapons rebalancing to reduce the reliance on headshots as the primary kill method in PvP. Despite what Rockstar said here, on headshots, this dirty tactic works the best when going for them. So first of all, you'll need to be able to dual wield pistols by purchasing the extra holster from the gunsmith or directly from the catalogue. Now, I've found this setup to be best with dual wield Mausers. This is due to the fire rate of these pistols, but it will work with any other dual wield pistols. So if you haven't got a pair of these, then any sort of pistols will work, but Mausers I've found to be the best. Alongside this, of course, you'll need the ability card Paint It Black equipped. So then all you've got to do is run around the map, go about your business as you would, with your akimbo pistols out and ready to go. As soon as you see an enemy player, go into Deadeye, drag that crosshair over their head, and as soon as you see that red mark on their head, which is automatically done by the Paint It Black ability card, fire your gun. As long as this player isn't using any Deadeye abilities themselves or goes behind cover, this will result in an instant kill of that enemy player. And this works for two players at the same time too, of course, which is where the fire rate of the two pistols really comes into its own. As you can see in this example, I aim at the enemy here, the headshot is marked, then another is marked on his ally. I pull the trigger and they both go down. If you keep yourself stocked up on tonics and food, then you'll be able to run Deadeye consistently over the duration of the game. To be honest, I find it absolutely mad that this is impossible in free aim games. As well as this, you can equip the new ability card Gunlingers Choice, which increases the accuracy as well as your total damage when using dual wield weapons. This means that if you miss the head with your markers, you can still deal significantly more damage with body shots. With this card and special ammo, you really become just so massively overpowered. When I've come into lobbies where people aren't using this tactic and I've used it, it really is terrible because you just absolutely wreck people with it and they've got no idea what's going on because it's just an instant headshot like it would be with an auto-aim game. Now, as I've said, this is a really sweaty way to play free aim games, but it is a technique that works and Rockstar have included it as a game feature. It's obviously not technically cheating, but it really does feel like you are cheating. And unfortunately, it's becoming rife in free aim lobbies nowadays. That being said, they've only been out, like a week and a bit, but they're full of people using this technique. With that being said, I understand this video won't exactly reduce the number of people doing this, so what I'm going to do now is go into the best way of countering it, giving you the best fighting chance that you've got against people doing this. So our first way of countering this is just to be aware of what mode the enemy player opposite you is in. Rockstar have made it so that when a player enters Deadeye, this is shown by the actual dot above their head turning into a Deadeye symbol. So you'll see in this example, I've slowed it down now, you can see that this guy, he's got his bow out, but you can tell obviously when he goes from normal mode into Deadeye mode, exactly the time that he does that. Not only this, but you can see on the map as well, if you look down there, you can see that that dot also changes to a Deadeye symbol. Now, if you see a player enter Deadeye, then you know that there's a chance that they might be using this technique. And if they've got dual wield pistols out, it's almost a guarantee. Of course, it's still possible to get a similar effect with using Paint It Black normally with just other weapons. So keep that in mind as well. So now you've seen a player enter Deadeye with dual wield pistols in hand. What can you do? So the first thing you can do is to get into cover. I don't necessarily mean here to press the button to take cover, you know, the system that Rockstar have put in place. I just mean to dip behind an object so the bullet will hit this obstacle when the enemy's marked targets are shot. The longer you stay in cover as well, obviously the quicker that their Deadeye is going down. So that gives you a chance if they try and hit another tonic or they run out of Deadeye, there's your opportunity to jump out and go for the kill. Also, unfortunately, despite diving to the floor working to break a player's auto-aim, this isn't the case for Painted Black. So really all diving will achieve you here is a second or so of inability to shoot back at your opposition. The other option you've got is to use your ability cards to your advantage. Of course, you can fight fire with fire and just use this tactic back on the people using it. But if you're trying to go completely defensive against it and just play free aim as it's meant to really be played, then the aim with your cards in this scenario is to set them up to minimize an enemy's chance of insta-killing you with a marked headshot. So if all the cards are focused on this, then Slow and Steady is the only Deadeye card that you can really use to defend against this. While Deadeye is active, you take much less damage and headshots do not kill you outright. Taking damage will drain Deadeye and you cannot run or sprint. Of course, my card here is level 3, so this will be scaled down if you're lower in the card levels. Despite the fact this card stops you from being able to run when it's active, it will allow you to tank headshots and give you enough time to deal enough damage to your opponent to kill them. For this ability card slot, Slow and Steady is essential. The only other essential card for dealing with this technique, in my opinion, other than Deadeye restoring cards, is our old friend, Never Without One. This card turns your normal hat into a temporary bulletproof helmet for one shot. Rockstar recently made a change to this card that sees it only effective for the hat area of your head, which obviously makes sense, but still in this scenario it will help you out. In the past, your whole head was covered by this ability and it was ridiculously overpowered. Hence the fact Rockstar have nerfed it. So with this card equipped, you will at least be able to survive one headshot from someone using Painted Black. So there you go, that is how to dominate free aim lobbies, but also, hopefully, how you can defend against people trying to do that. In the future, I really hope Rockstar decide to either remove Deadeye from the free aim matches completely, or at least do something to limit the effectiveness of this tactic. I feel like the intention of free aim lobbies is to truly test the skill of players, but fighting methods like the one in this video just bring it back to who's got the most Deadeye tonics to spam throughout the game. What do all of you lot think though? What should Rockstar do to counter this? Or is free aim PvP something that you aren't even interested in anyway? I'd love to hear your thoughts. For a summary on everything that happened in the update this week, click the video on screen now. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more content like this in the future. I'm JmCooKie. Cheers.